आर्यों पे करम, यहूदियों पे सितम। आर्यों पे करम, यहूदियों पे सितम। रे हिटलर तूने ये जुल्म क्यों किए? रे हिटलर पीस के लिए, रे हिटलर पीस के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है। रे हिटलर पीस के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है। डिक्टेटर ऐसा, रे डिक्टेटर ऐसा खुद खुशी के लायक है। तुझ पे कोई दया करे क्या? तू तो खलनायक है। तुझ पे कोई दया करे क्या? तू तो खलनायक है। आर्यों पे करम, यहूदियों पे सितम। रे हिटलर तूने ये जुल्म क्यों किए? पहले वर्ल्ड वॉर की हार से लगा जा घाटा, ट्रीटी ऑफ वर्सेल की मार से लगा जो चाटा। विमर रिपब्लिक के खिलाफ तूने लोगों को भड़काया, भूखे और बेरोजगार को तूने था उकसाया। रे हिटलर पीस के लिए जिस जगह पे सिविलाइजेशन का भाग रहा था कांटा, उस जगह में रेसिज्म का तूने किया वेंडाटा। जाने तेरी क्या समझ थी, कैसी थी होशियारी, अपनों को ही गैस चेंबर में तूने दी महामारी। बंद कर दी ऑशवीज में बच्चों की किलकारी, बह रही थी नम आंखों से आंसू की पिचकारी। रे हिटलर पीस के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है। तुझ पे कोई दया करे क्या? तू खलनायक है। पोलैंड, फ्रांस, नीदरलैंड, नॉर्वे सब पे बाजी मारी, सोवियत रूस पे हमला कर ब्रिटेन भी ललकारी। यहीं से तेरे मंसूबों पे फिर गया था पानी, तुझको और जापान हराने की यूएस ने ठानी। इंग्लैंड, यूएस और अलाइज पे जीत की थी खुमारी, तेरी बातों में आके मानवता ही थी हारी। रे हिटलर पीस के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है। हिटलर पीस के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है। तुझ पे कोई दया करे क्या? तू तो खलनायक है। हेलो ऑर्फिकिंस, मैं हूं मुकेश पारेख, आपका इतिहास का अध्यापक, और आज हम बात करेंगे अबाउट वन ऑफ द सैडेस्ट चैप्टर्स इन द ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री, द राइज ऑफ हिटलर एंड नाजिज्म। हाउ कुड अ मैन who was in fact not even born in Germany capture the imagination of an entire nation to such an extent that they could see no wrong in his violent means? How could a man sell such a biased and flawed idea of nationalism to an entire country? How could someone trivialize death, dehumanize an entire race, and make people believe that his act of killing more than 7 million people was actually cleansing? Of course, there had been a deep-rooted hatred towards Jews at large in Christianity from time immemorial. They were labeled as the killers of Christ and infidels. One could stoke that feeling in the radical elements of the society. But then there has to be a bigger reason for an entire country to accept someone so violent as their Masiha or Savior. हिंदी में एक कहावत है, डूबते को तिनके का सहारा। जर्मनी, जो कि पहले विश्व युद्ध को हारने के बाद धीरे धीरे डूब रहा था, उसे सहारे के रूप में दिखाई दिया हिटलर। After the First World War, the Emperor of Germany was abdicated and Weimar Republic formed a parliament and started governing Germany. In spite of their federalist and democratic stance, they were not warmly welcomed by the people of Germany. One major reason for this was the Treaty of Versailles. The masses believed that the Weimar Republic had not done the right thing by accepting such a harsh treaty. The fact that Weimar Republic was silent and okay with the loss of territories of German colonies and a significant part of its natural resources made the matters worse. The Allied forces had put up harsh war reparation clauses on Germany, and Germany was reeling under the debt that it had taken to finance the war. The burden of debt, coupled with the burden of indemnification, made Germany practically bankrupt. The German masses held Weimar Republic responsible for the mess Germany was in and were looking for an alternative. Hitler, with his oratory skills, offered the promise of making the motherland great again. The German government had been printing currency notes recklessly, which led to a situation of hyperinflation. German currency notes had become so valueless that the cost of printing a note was much more than its value. It reached a stage where $1 became the equivalent of 100 million German marks. This backdrop of social, economical and political unrest was perfect for the launch of an alternative polity. This acted as the background for the rise of Hitler. He promised to avenge Germany and protect Germany from all foreign conspiracies. His passionate speeches soon captured the imagination of people whose sense of dignity and pride had been shattered and who were living in a time of acute economic and political crisis. Hitler was in fact a master marketeer. Like a modern-day FMCG company, he was aware of the power of standardization, branding, and a narrative. He understood the significance of rituals and spectacle in mass mobilization. With the red flag and swastika, he had his logo sorted. With the military outfits and mannerisms, he had the packaging sorted. In fact, Nazis held massive rallies and public meetings to demonstrate the support for Hitler and instill a sense of unity among the people. The Nazi salute and the ritualized rounds of applause after the speeches were all part of this grand spectacle of power. A boy who once longed to be an artist, someone who earned his livelihood by painting postcards in his youth, had today become the most feared dictator in the world, the Führer. Hitler knew one thing, that it's easier to capture public imagination if you could make the villain out of someone. It's easier to unite people after a defeat or an embarrassment if you have someone to blame for it. And he did exactly that. He put the blame on the Jews and the communists for the defeat in the First World War. And oddly enough, hatred unites people. This propaganda helped him blind the judgment of people, and soon he had an iron grip over the country. कहीं ना कहीं हिटलर का जीवन और जर्मनी की कहानी हम सबको एक बहुत बड़ा सबक सिखाती है. A very important lesson of not being naive around the leaders. It tells us to be careful and observant of our politicians. Let us not allow them to divide us any further. In our in-class sessions, we are going to delve deeper into the world of Germany, Hitler, and the Second World War. Till then, पढ़ते रहें, आगे बढ़ते रहें. जय हिंद.